Chapter 6: Teach what you know. And started with a quote of Annie Dillard: the impulse to keep to yourself what you have learned is not only shameful, it is it is destructive. Anything you do not give freely and abundantly becomes lost to you. You open your safe and find ashes. Share your trade. Section 1: Share your trade secrets. The world of barbecues is notoriously it is notoriously secretive and competitive. So it was a little bit of shock last winter for me to be standing behind the legendary Franklin Barbos here in Austin, Texas, watching Pitmaster and Barbus wizard Aaron Franklin explain how he smokes his famous ribs in front of a camera crew. My friend Sarah Robertson, a producer at the local PBS station KLRU, had invited me to watch a taping of Barbecue with Franklin, a crowd-funded YouTube series designed to take viewers through every step of barbecue barbecue process. In the series, Franklin explains how to modify an off the shelf smoker, how to select the right wood, how to build a fire, how to select a cut of meat, what temperature to smoke the meat at, and how to slice up the finished product. I started eating at Franklin Barbecue in 2010 when it was served out of a trailer of Interstate 35. In only 3 years, Franklin has become one of the most famous barbecue joints in the world. Bon Appetit called it the best barbecue in Texas, if not America. 6 days a week, 6 days a week, rain or 100-degree sunshine, there is a line that goes around the block, and each one of those days they sell out of meat. If ever it seemed like there was a business that would be intent to keep its secrets to itself, it would be this one. When I got to talk to Aaron and his wife Stacy during a break in filming, they explained that the technique of barbecue is actually very simple, but it takes years and years to master. There is an intuition that you only gain through the repetition of practice. Aaron told me that he trains all his employees the same way, but when he cuts into a brisket, he can tell you exactly who did the smoking. Teaching doesn't mean instant. Teaching doesn't mean teaching doesn't mean instant competition. Just because you know the master's technique doesn't mean you are going to be able to emulate it right away. You can watch Franklin's tutorial over and over, but are you ready to start spending 22 hours a day smoking meat that will sell out in 2 hours? Probably not. If you're me, you will pay the $13 a pound even more gladly. The Franklins also just genuinely love barbecue, and they go out of their way to share their knowledge. People often stop by with their own attempts at brisket, and Aaron is always gracious and patient when answering their questions. You don't get the feeling that any of this is calculated. It is just the way they operate. They started out as beginners, and so they feel an obligation of pass on what they have learned. Of course, many chefs restaurants have become rich and famous by sharing their recipes and their techniques. In their book Rework, Jason Fried and David and David Henmer Hansen, sorry, encourage businesses to emulate chefs by out teaching their competition. What do you do? What are your recipes? What's your cookbook? What can you tell the world about how you operate? That's informative, educational, and promotional. They encourage businesses to figure out the equivalent of their own cooking show. Think about what you can share from your process that would inform the people you are trying to reach. Have you learned a craft? What are your techniques? Are you skilled at using certain tools and materials? What kind of knowledge comes along with your job? The minute you learn something, turn around and teach it to others. Share your reading list. Point to helpful reference materials. Create some tutorials and post them online. Use pictures, words, and video. Take people step by step through part of your process. As blogger Kathy Sarah says, make people better at something they want to be better at. Teaching people doesn't subtract value from what you do. It actually adds to you. When you teach someone how to do your work, you are in effective generating more interest in your work. People feel closer to your work because you are letting them in on what you know. Best of all, when you share your knowledge and your work with others, you receive an educational return. Sorry, education return. Author Christopher Hitchens said that the great thing about putting out a book is that it brings you into contact with people whose opinions you should have canvassed before you ever pressed pen to paper. They write to you, they telephone you, they come to your bookstore events and give you things to read that you should have read already. He said that having his work out of in the world was a free education that goes on for a lifetime. Learn, teach. This is the cycle author showed us. If I show this loop of learn and teach, learn, teach, learn, teach, learn, teach. Sorry. This is okay.